Greetings guys, a warm welcome to you all and thank you for joining me. Today is the 28th of April 2020. We here in New Zealand have today just come out of our isolation level 4, which has been keeping us all at home and only allowed out for a very minute period of time to go and get essential necessities such as groceries, or to go to a doctor, or go to an essential workplace such as a health place or groceries, and to do exercise. So a lot of people have actually been stuck at home for over 4 weeks. So we see that globally everyone has been in this state of lockdown or safe harbour or isolation or downtime. Certainly Mother Earth has been in a downtime period, which has been beneficial for her at many levels. In this video we're going to be taking a look into a well-known person, but not much is actually known about them. That is Kim Jong Un, the ruler of North Korea. We are going to look into the possibilities of what might be going on with Kim Jong Un. Even though they're a minor nation and they're called the Hermit Nation, and we know very little about them, in his hands he has held a very large portion of all of our futures, of the outcome of events that could happen on this planet. If he decided to cause or create or enforce a nuclear war, all of us would be susceptible to what he decides to do. As I say, we don't know necessarily a lot about him or his hermit state. He has had a lot of weight in the way he behaves, the things he does, and what goes on for all of us at very many different levels. So over the last week or so, it could even be a bit longer, I think since before April the 15th, he hasn't been sighted, and that April the 15th is usually North Korea's celebration day of the previous ruler, which I think was his grandfather. And it's a big state affair. They have all these pomp and pageantry and ceremony events. But he wasn't sighted or seen at any of them, and so there have been lots of rumours speculating around what might have gone on. And some of the top 5 that are currently listed, there's a newspaper article that says, "Where is Kim Jong Un? 5 theories on what's happened to North Korea's leader." And the first one is that he could be recovering from surgery, and they think it could be heart surgery. The second one is that he could be in grave danger, possibly from the surgery, if it's heart surgery or another type of surgery. The third one is that he could be social distancing due to the COVID or the CV, the global event that's caused all the isolation. And there's no doubt that North Korea must have some cases. And there was speculation that one of his close workers or aides as such had come into contact with the CV, and that may have pushed him into isolation. He could actually have it himself, a bit like Boris Johnson had it. The fourth speculation or hypothesis that something might have happened to him is that he may have been hurt in military drills, but they don't suspect that to be the case because there are no photos of him recently at any of the military drills. And the fifth alternative is that he is just seeking attention. And so when he does something like goes away and hides, you know, he is creating global speculation and he gets all this attention aimed at him, which of course would be suggesting that he is in fact fine, but this is just him playing a game. So we remember, if we go back a year and a bit, I think it is now, that Trump managed to actually meet with him. They signed some form of documentation about him disabling his nuclear armament. There was meant to be a feeling of peace coming between the two of them, and of him agreeing to the demands that other countries were putting on him for backing off of his nuclear works or undertakings. Just earlier in April, North Korea also fired a whole lot of missiles off their coast and into the sea. Nothing much was known about that, and nobody's stated what it was for or what it was doing, and it could have been nuclear missiles that they were interacting with. But I suppose, as we're all speculating, what is actually happening to him? Now, if he is passed away, then there leaves a great hole in who would run North Korea, because, well, his half-brother was assassinated, I think back in 2017. He has one very young child, who would be too young to rule or govern. And he has, I think, a sister or another relative who does work quite closely with him in the government. So there's rumour that she could hypothetically take over if he is in fact ailing or perhaps dead already. So I thought we would look into this and just see what comes up, and we'll just pull some cards and see what might be going on with him. Is he just seeking attention and hiding, or is there something more to the rumour than just that? So these two cards came out for the Animal Spirit deck, and they're quite interesting in as much that this one came out first, the Whale Spirit, and it says, trust the great mystery. And that's exactly what this is at the moment. It's a great mystery. Now, sometimes when you attempt to look into perspectives or connect with set people or certain people, there can be a block against it from happening. So sometimes that might be exactly what this is. You know, anyone attempting to look in may be blocked, and the mystery might meant to be exactly that, a mystery. However, we'll attempt to look a little bit further. The Peacock Spirit is an interesting one because he is a bit of a peacock, and he has this crown on his head like royalty, which is what he actually defines himself in North Korea as, of the royal family, and he is depicted as their royal spiritual leader. And so he's quite like a peacock, and when he delivers himself he's all pompous and proud and puffed up. But in this peacock's picture here in his neck, and I don't know if that's where a peacock's heart is, I've got no idea, but it's as if this has been opened up and there's this shining light coming out of it, and it says, let it shine. So it's almost as if there's been a cut in this throat or further down neck, thorax area of the body, and something has been opened up, and that shining light again almost looks like spirit, like it's gone to spirit. So reading the words from the Whale Spirit one were really interesting, because Whale Spirit, trust the great mystery, and this is the protection message from it. Certainty is not offered to you right now. You are being asked to trust the process of co-creation. Whale Spirit reminds you that primary reality is not of the material world, but rather that of the realm of spirit, from which the essence of your dreams and desires take shape before arriving at a specific form. You must trust that what will come will be for the highest good. Stay in your present awareness and allow the hidden realms to hold your intentions safely until it is time for them to manifest in the realm of form. Let go. Some things take longer than others to arrive. Now, the Whale Spirit is one of the oldest on the planet. They have seen and done everything, and their entire realm, in essence, is a great mystery to us all. We don't know what goes on in the oceans and how they interact and what they know. So there's a great deal of unknownness in both of these cards, but they're both kind of referring to me to spirit, which of course is like passed on energy, and this possibility here of like a heart that's been opened up and this shining light. So let's do a few more cards here and we will see. And as I say, the reason why I'm interested in undertaking this is because he holds a bigger role in our journey than a lot of people on this planet. His decisions and how he acts and reacts and what he decides to do with his nuclear armament, and whether or not he, you know, opens up and sort of integrates himself more in society, or whether he decides to become more maniacal or dangerous, affects each and every one of us on the planet, and especially Gaia, Mother Earth herself, because a nuclear war it's just something we wouldn't even want to think about. So what are these? The Ace of Swords, the Chariot. I sometimes think of, when we see the Swords cards, and sometimes when there's just one, that there has been an operation. But this is an operation of success. And this is also regaining strength. Now, when I was tuning into him before, I saw his white horse, because he often has photos taken of him on this beautiful, beautiful stallion that he has, and it's a white horse. And no one's seen him on the white horse for quite some time, and normally he would have been on it around about this time. But again, this gives me the feeling of regaining strength. But also this card is very much known as the card of spirit as well. So physical and spiritual, almost as if there's a coming and a going, or a moving between the realms is a possibility. I have a feeling that he may have had an operation, and it could have been a close call. I would have thought personally that if he had passed away, surely they wouldn't leave it too long before having the ceremony for him and a state funeral, because that would be, you know, not prestigious enough. You would think they would have acknowledged it by now. Not sure how to interpret that one. Another, oh, well, a whole bunch jumped out there. So we'll leave that one there. Some of these went on the ground. These ones ended up here. If we're looking at those cards, none of them are necessarily negative or detrimental. The Hierophant, you know, can talk about religious aspirations or events or churches or ceremonies. Sometimes it can turn up for something like a funeral or a wedding or attending things like that. It can also be an indicator of rising up, like changing something within yourself. So learning your spiritual journey, engaging in it, and the Chariot can also represent that. So it could mean this, like epiphany that he may have had, or a change that is occurring at his own personal level. Now sometimes when you go through something like a near-death experience, you can find that these sort of things can happen. So your own mortality seems to stare you in the face, and you'll view life in a different manner. Those cards aren't really giving much information. There's two financial cards here, and they actually generally bode really well in terms of finances. Let's have a look at some other decks and see. I'm really not sure what this one could reference. It can again mean an attainment of love and harmony, and like a connection, a deeper understanding of life, feeling at one, or harmony. This is for Kim Jong Un. What is happening with him at the moment, or what has been happening in the last few weeks? We are asking. Let the past go. It's almost like something might be changing, like an attitude or an awareness, or maybe even a state of health is changing. Maybe he is looking at becoming fitter and healthier after having a health scare. Gosh, that's interesting, isn't it? Because we have the Lovers and now the Wedding card, which is often about a marriage of the soul, or a union, a special union, or a love partnership or relationship, or this feeling of connection. I don't know if that's tied into anything. Maybe he's away on a secret honeymoon or something. But he's already married, so I don't know what the two of those cards are. Maybe he's feeling a greater connection to his family or partner because something that has gone on or that he has experienced at the physical level. He definitely did need to cleanse and detoxify. We can see that because his health is not the best and it hasn't been for some time. Grounding yourself. Perhaps he is. It appears that he is somewhere on the peninsula in like a place of like not a resort necessarily, but a retreat type place where you might be able to go outdoors, or you might be able to relax and re-inspire yourself. And again, we're back with this love energy, and that's holding the heart in the hand. I'm beginning to think that he's had a very close call, and there's more money again for them. Wonder what the money is about. There's relatively positive money behind here, as if there's support or their finances is okay one way or another. I am beginning to think that he has had a close call with some sort of physical illness that might have involved an operation that could have been, as they said, very close to a death scenario or experience. And that has given him some sort of epiphany. He is going through a healing or a slow recuperation, and there are some things that he is changing in direction. So I'm not sure that there's any sign of him being dead at this stage. I think he will return again. Oh, wow. Yeah. Maybe the heart, the broken heart, this is either physical, like an operation as in a heart that's had to be mended, or there's some sort of emotional broken heart that is going on for him as well. Maybe it has something to do with a relationship, which would seem a very bizarre way to behave, given he's hidden himself away for weeks on end. Rest and rejuvenation. Those two just jumped out. So I think he has had a heart operation. This card, when it comes in through the thorax, if it's not a heart operation, perhaps the other possibility is he did get the virus that has been traversing the world, and he might have been very ill from that as well, because it does affect the heart and the lungs in particular, and other parts of the body. But I would say he's definitely in rest and rejuvenation. I think he will appear again, but I think he's had a very close call with his health. Yeah, it's definitely those areas of the body have been addressed, and I do think an operation is what was involved as well. So my bets on it would be that we will see him again. He could be quite a changed person, because I think he's had a very near-death experience, possibly almost died, maybe did, and been revived. Yeah, so that's my take on it. We will see. And will we ever know the truth? Possibly not. But let's hope that if he has gone through something so major, that he does come out a changed person, and that he has some epiphany and some awakening, and life's different for North Korea and for the rest of the world as well. That would be a bonus, wouldn't it, for all of this event that might have occurred that he could have been involved in. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. Leave your comments, let me know what you think, and what your own personal opinions of his disappearance might be, or even how you think about him in terms of his hold over the world. Do you think he has any hold? Do you ever feel worried about the types of attitudes or behaviours or actions that he has? Or do you think he's just a minor player that can't really affect the outcome of our future as we move forward? Take care, everyone. Be safe and well. Namaste.